we're going to be doing an update video. Again, yes, I know, update videos. So a couple of days ago, Schlep put out a video with Chris Hansen. If you don't know who Chris Hansen is, that could be a good thing because that means that you've not met him. But also that could mean that you're disassociated with the internet a little bit because Chris Hansen is the guy that ran that show To Catch a Predator, and they call it Predators. Like the show kind of explains. It's fairly simple, low IQ. You don't really need to actually think too much about it when you click on that show. You know what it's about, and you know that you're going to see justice taken. Chris Hansen apparently also has a little bit of controversy behind him regarding that whole show. I personally think pedophiles deserve to be in jail. So, considering they all got arrested after the fact, I don't know how the cases ended. I'm hoping that they all got charged. You know, don't hold me against it if they didn't. But considering they got arrested and they are known now to be child predators, I think that the show did a good job. So we're gonna go and see what Schlep and Chris Hansen did.
Roblox is a place where we filter all the text and the voice, where we monitor for critical harms, where there's no image sharing or any of the things that might happen from that.
I want to start off by saying that we all want to keep Roblox safe. We share this view, and we know that there's members of our community.
I've not seen this before either.
About that too.
I've waited because like I wanted to talk about it with you guys.
About how to keep Roblox safer.
I want to highlight we have always had safety as one of our top priorities.
I feel this is kind of cringy though because this is talking about sexual assault and they made a really interesting Roblox animation. I feel like they should have gotten right into the point, but
We want to keep people on our platform.
we're only 30 seconds in.
This whole situation is kind of crazy.
Everybody go donate to this boy Schlep.
This is probably the worst decision this company has ever made.
Hashtag free Schlep on God. Yeah, they actually need Schlep.
I'm wishing Schlep the best.
Roblox, you need to do something.
There's got to be something done. No.
This has been like there's been quite a big movement, like from content creators to actual people outside of the content creation sphere talking about this. Roblox is in a puddle of its own shit and it needs to be cleaned up.
Nobody at Roblox listens to us. I'm frustrated, man. I'm frustrated.
Why should we support a platform that is taking steps to prevent predators from getting caught?
What the fuck is up with that guy?
Roblox has just lost $12 billion in market value following their response to their cease and desist letter against me. Just for context, I'm someone who's gotten 6 predators within their community arrested in real life. That loss,
We know.
isn't
You're
on
great.
me. It's a
You're a
direct
god.
result of Roblox's own response to its child safety
Not really a
crisis.
god,
Instead
but,
of
you know.
addressing the real issues, Roblox has doubled, tripled, even quadrupled down. They've put out statements after statements painting me and my team as reckless vigilantes while claiming that their platform.
They started a fire and then instead of trying to put it out, they threw gasoline on it. And then when that didn't work, they decided, let's try and find some nitroglycerin.
Is safe when it absolutely is not. People are just seeing through this, and that's why a huge movement has started online called Free Schlep. It's been trending everywhere. Multiple members of Congress have.
What do you guys think about that? The hashtag Free Schlep. I think that it's good that there's a hashtag for it, but I also find it kind of interesting because Schlep wasn't in jail. I feel like the free someone hashtag is always used for someone who's been arrested. So when I first saw the Free Schlep hashtag, I was like, did he get arrested? What the fuck happened?
Have now called out the company's child abuse problem, and the Attorney General of Louisiana has filed a giant lawsuit against the company for, and I quote,
even outside of the
prioritizing
content
user
creation
growth,
sphere.
revenue, and profits over child safety. The day after the Attorney General's lawsuit was filed, Roblox's market value dropped by $12 billion. In response, the company scrambled to roll out new policies targeting the very not safe for work games featured in the lawsuit and my videos, like for instance, bathroom simulators.
I wonder if I could still go onto Roblox and get approached by a predator as quick as so many people have. People have been going online still after this whole Free Schlep thing started, like days afterwards, going into Roblox, random server, new character, no searching anything up, no friends, completely blank slate, right? Kind of as if you were a kid first getting your tablet and playing Roblox and you don't have anyone to play with. And you hop into a server, and the funniest one that I saw was because I saw Asmongold did a video of him going in, and it was one of the first ones that I saw of someone jumping in and being like, hey, I'm gonna try Roblox and see how fast I can get approached. And then I saw this guy's as well. I think it was 3 seconds into loading into the server, there was a big dick and balls running around. Like straight up, a character model that was a dick and balls was running around in Roblox. It was insane.
Mind you, the community has been calling out these games for years now, but still, even after everything, instead of removing these blatantly inappropriate experiences, Roblox simply slapped a 17+ label on them. They also launched a ban wave against some of the worst games they've knowingly hosted for years, games that have led thousands of children to getting extorted, and worse. Roblox's actions are nothing more than damage control for the problems they've allowed to fester, when the entire community was screaming at them to
I like how Schlep's been banned, so he's put himself somewhere in Russia, like in a war-torn, broken-down area. Like, look, that's fucking Russian writing back there. It's either that or that's alien shit. I don't understand Russian, but like Russian writing has always seemed like hieroglyphics to me. How do you understand that? I can't imagine what Doctor's writing looks like in Russian. I don't think the Doctor even knows what he's wrote after he wrote in Russian. That would be insane to see.
Fix these problems. And the community saw that killing the messenger was an act of war. Shortly after these changes, Roblox released a video so bad that it was community noted on Twitter twice. David Baszucki, the CEO.
I'm also gonna say, those of you out there that are all, oh, I feel so bad for David Bakaki. He's gonna be known as the Predator Kid. Listen, I understand that like this guy's the CEO. A lot of people are trying to say it's the moderator's problem. But who the fuck goes to a strand of a disease and goes to the very end of it and chops off a tiny bit and hopes that that's gonna cure your problem? You go to the fucking source and you find out why this shit hasn't been working. The CEO is the problem. Like, it's not just the CEO. I'm sure it's the people around him as well. But you can't blame a member of the moderation team for not stopping pedophilia on the platform. This has been an ongoing issue. Those of you that are trying to stand up for David Bazooka, saying, hey, this guy didn't do anything wrong, it's the moderate. No, it's the entire Roblox administration team. It's not the moderation team. It's the people who have the protocols to moderate. I don't even know how many moderators there are, but I can bet your ass that there isn't enough for how much is going down on Roblox.
CEO of Roblox, Matt Kaufman, the Chief Safety Officer of Roblox, and Eliza Jacobs, the Senior Director of Product Policy, did a 45-minute tech talk.
Is Matt Kaufman the one that withdrew $800,000 worth of stock as soon as they banned Schlep, or just before they banned Schlep, or something like that? I think that he might have been that guy, because it was a chief safety officer that
but they
did that.
go ahead and respond directly to their vigilante policy. Before I show this, I want you to remember, I'm the only person that Roblox has targeted with this vigilante policy that they just created. Not even my team was moderated or given any legal letters. I've begged for a clear line and even offered to keep much of my work private to help, and I'm no way obligated to do that, but instead, they went straight after me, moderating my accounts and sending a cease and desist before I could even react to the policy. And let's be clear about what.
And I wonder how much energy that could have been put to be putting away maybe 2 or 3 predators that are just approaching minors and asking them to leave the platform, instead of making allegations, trying to make Schlep seem like a bad guy, and you didn't even do it right. If you're gonna make allegations, at least allegate properly. Like, goddamn, no one believed what you guys said. Straight up.
One thing, I'm not a vigilante. That means I'm taking the law into my own hands. We work with law enforcement, which is why we have arrests. Roblox refuses to say my name because they'd have to acknowledge those arrests. But make no mistake, they're responding to the outrage, which is about me, and this is what they had to say about it. They first start off the interview by talking about how vigilantes started out as a good thing.
Both inside of Roblox, and I think that there are lots of people outside of Roblox who really have the best intentions and the welfare of our community at heart. We all want to keep Roblox safe.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
People outside of Roblox who really have the best intentions and the welfare of our community
True,
at heart.
outside
We
of
all
Roblox.
wanna
That's the
keep
issue.
Roblox safe. And you know what? We welcome them in part of the dialogue about how to keep Roblox safer. And we have members of the community in these vigilante groups that started off in a really good place. They started off by saying like, hey, They're reporting on issues on Roblox. They're talking about how we could do better. And, we paid really careful attention.
This statement is just laughably hilarious. If Roblox is really paying attention, then what about when my mom emailed you guys about my own gaming case?
Bro comes in with his mom. Oh, I'm sorry, but that's not the hardest. That's not the hardest fucking punch to pull. Me and my mommy came in. I'm sorry.
What did you do then? Nothing. Actually, you
But no,
kept
they
paying
should
the
have done
guy
something,
for years
obviously.
afterward, until you were literally forced to do something about it. If what Roblox was claiming was actually true, them listening to the community, why are the biggest content creators leaving your exclusive YouTuber program in protest of how you're moderating your platform? And I'm gonna actually bring up something later in this interview to show you how much of a joke this is. This here is Meep City, one of the most controversial games on Roblox. Creecraft, one of the largest Roblox YouTubers, joined this game and within 4 seconds was exposed to not safe for work content.
It was him. It was Creekcraft that I watched that did that. See, that blurred image, that was a cock. Let me break the glass that's been covering your baby eyes. I'll just shatter that right in front of you. That was a cock. That was 2 balls as legs and a cock.
Community has been complaining about this game for almost a decade now, but Roblox has still continued to leave this game up and platform it. But CEO David Baszucki mentions this game by name, and here's their philosophy on this.
I can see some of our community naming experiences on Roblox and just say take it down,
Get bad vibes.
take it down. I'd say examples could be Meep City, for example. Can you share? Like, why should that be up? Should that be down? Like, what's up?
I think one thing that's really challenging on this global immersive interactive platform is that we have content created by developers and creators and content created by the community, by the users that are in that game.
Moderate it. It's not that hard. There are plenty of games out there that take both community and developer input. All right. Obviously, you're going to have a little bit less screening for the developers, verified developers, right? But if you're going to have the community doing shit with you, you need to have a moderation team moderating every single thing. What if it's pushing out hate propaganda? What if it's pushing out racism, anti-Semitism, or something like that? And you guys are just willingly backing that because you don't realize what you're putting out there. You're just saying, go ahead and do it. That doesn't make you any less complacent. If you know someone's been murdered, you have to say about it. That's why you need to do your due diligence to scan through all of the things that you have been given, see if there's either CP, lolly, or something that can expose children to dangerous situations, and then act on that. By not acting, that is an action.
And one thing that we really try to do is be fair to our developers and to not moderate them for the behavior of their users.
How is this a crazy math problem? This is so simple. The creator of this game wants these people in their game. How is this even controversial? The developer is giving the tools to the player to make this inappropriate content. And that is the problem with Roblox. Roblox turns a blind eye unless the developers are blatantly making not safe for work games. And even then, it is still on the line if Roblox will take action.
And by blatant, they mean you walk in and there's cocks on the wall, there's cocks swinging around on the ceiling, there's people doing the spready on the table. It's like a whole bukkake party. There's holes in the wall and you can hear moaning from behind it. Stuff like that, even Roblox would probably ignore, saying that it's like an artistic expression or something.
Roblox might have just went back on their word regarding Meep City. This game had every inappropriate feature removed from it pretty much overnight. It's unknown if Roblox made Alex Neutron, the creator of Meep City, do this. But either way, it shows the public pressure is working. Games that Roblox is doubling down on are folding. So that's why it's really important to keep speaking up about this.
I don't know much about Roblox. I'm going to comment on that heart bed situation. I think beds and stuff probably would be fine if they weren't kind of geared towards, oh, a heart bed. You know what you do in a heart bed. I feel like if you have Roblox, I feel like Roblox might be the type of situation where there would be maps where you can maybe make your own house setup or something. I would assume that you have, since it's a very creative game, I'd assume that there'd be levels like that. Having beds would be fine. It's how the beds are used and portrayed and kind of what you can do with them. Can you get into the bed? Because what can you do in the bed? That's what my question is. I'm not an avid Roblox player myself.
saw something change. What we saw is that some of these groups started engaging with the community in ways that violated our policies. And so let me explain what that means. They would go and create accounts on Roblox claiming to be a child.
Roblox keeps repeating this same talking point, that I'm impersonating and pretending to be a child. But here's the reality. You have to pretend to be a child because if the predators knew they were talking to an adult, that wouldn't even be a crime. You guys seem to be more upset that I'm pretending to be a child than predators are decoys. And if it wasn't our decoys, it would be a real person. It's also worth noting that the FBI, ICAC, and local law enforcement all use these same exact tactics. Would Roblox be willing to send them a cease and desist too? And their claim that I'm impersonating children
just staring at a little Roblox character.
Impersonation means I'm stealing the identity of a real child. From the very beginning, we've never used real kids. We don't send pictures of real children, and we create totally new identities where every single photo that's sent is of someone that is of a...
So in case you guys don't know, entrapment is essentially when you act as a child and then you present yourself sexually, essentially, to try and get somebody to, you know, bite the hook, per se.
The only difference is we tell these people that we are underage. This is flat out a lie, what they're claiming. But what happens next is so wild that the CEO of Roblox cuts off the chief safety officer.
And then they would enter into game servers and they would go and start asking everybody around them, how old are you? And they were seeking out adults. If you said that you were, move on. But if you said that you were 25, then they would start engaging in conversations and they would try and use those conversations to simulate.
Matt, is this anecdotal? Because I know we have chat logs for all chat on Roblox and historical records. Are you able to kind of...
David totally derails that conversation. That statement is probably the most wild.
And you see how he's just itching to just interject and stop him from fucking talking.
Made by Matt Kaufman in this whole interview. To simulate what, Matt Kaufman? Because it's not simulation. These are predators thinking that they're talking to someone that is real. And they a lot of times want to show up in person and do stuff to them in real life. And in my opinion, this shows how little Roblox actually cares about this problem. They can say whatever they want. They can talk about all...
So the reason why I stopped that was because that was clearly an attempt, like he said, to derail the situation. Because he knew that was going to come back to bite him. If they continued talking about that and going in depth into what they were thinking about that and how they perceived the situation, it was going to cause them shit. Because there's no way that simulating being a 13-year-old is worse than protecting a predator. There's no way.
all the new safety features that they're rolling out, but it means nothing if lawsuits are being filed every single week against the company and headlines are making the media about a new horrible situation happening because of this platform. I also want to say how they totally mischaracterize how I run my decoy operation. We are never the first to engage with any of the predators. They always contact our decoy account first.
So we saw these actors, they're pretending to be kids, they're trying to find adults, and then what they're doing is they're trying to move the conversation as quickly as possible to other platforms that don't have the type of monitoring and policies that Roblox has. And then they were using that activity that happened on other platforms to create situations that they would then video, they would report to the police, and then only after would they let Roblox know.
Roblox is accusing me of encouraging adults to talk inappropriately to people they shouldn't. That is not true, and if it was true, I wouldn't have a single arrest. We present ourselves as a naive kid who doesn't know about these topics. Crimes like this should obviously be reported to law enforcement first, not...
And that's the thing, they keep talking about how they're trying their best to, or how they're going to roll out new methods to protect people from this. They legitimately did this themselves by they got information from Schlep, like a binder worth, when they got arrested, with police reports, as well as the whole situation leading up to it. And they're still mischaracterizing the whole situation. They're not actually putting it out as it is. He gave it to them as it is. They're just trying to save ass.
Not Roblox. If Roblox is notified before the police, they can delete accounts, tip off the predators they're being investigated, and give them a chance to erase valuable evidence that the police need to prosecute. The fact that these predators are on the platform to begin with shows that their safety systems.
Now, a lot of you guys are going to be like, wait, so he's saying that Roblox is going out of their way to go up to them and be like, hey, buddy, you kid diddler, yeah, clear your stuff out. They're on to you. That's not what they're doing. They obviously just get a notice that their like account's been paused, or whatever the situation, they get tipped off that there's been a report made about them and we're looking into it or something along those lines. Therefore, giving them the information that, oh shit, I should probably clear my stuff, you know what I mean? I should probably make sure there's no evidence on my laptop, put it all on a USB, give it to my lawyer or something like that. You know, he wasn't straight up saying, hey, Roblox is going up to their door, knocking on it, shaking hands, and being like, oh, you got someone in there? Nice. All right, clear out? No, that's not what they were saying.
Have failed. If Roblox did their jobs, there wouldn't be anybody for us to find. Roblox also claims that I'm moving these players to other platforms, but those platforms are linked directly on Roblox's own site. Roblox has actually even partnered with some of those platforms. They even own a bot on that other platform. Anyone can make an account 13 plus and see social media links on Roblox, and unsurprisingly, people in real life have been abducted because of this feature that Roblox allows. And when they say I'm creating these situations, that's just insulting. I'm not creating situations. These predators are trying to grab people within your community.
And there's a bunch of issues in here. Number one, the violation of our policies about being...
Number one, the predators. I'm sorry. What the fuck do you mean the violation of our policies? Again, they're trying to dance around the problem. I feel like when companies do this bush dancing shit, they just come off as such scumbags and such disingenuous. I understand the business point of view. You gotta try and damage control as much as you can. But blatant damage control like this is just more damaging. They're trying to not associate themselves with predators, therefore completely ignoring the problem. Again, it's like your house is on fire and you think it's gonna stop if you just don't look at it.
Honest about how old you are. Number two, moving conversations off platform. And number three, waiting to tell Roblox when they identified violative behavior to come and tell us so we could take action.
In Matt Coffin's own words, in articles about vigilantes, he said law enforcement officials are best positioned to investigate potential crime. So why is he criticizing us for going to the police first? And it's not like we're not even reporting these things to Roblox. We do. We give Roblox the same Google Drive that we give to the cops. They have the first chat log till the very end where they're in handcuffs. And we have numerous fully documented instances where Roblox refused to take action until after we released videos that got millions of views. Also, waiting to tell Roblox in general is a policy violation? If you were on Roblox and
most businesses nowadays aren't going to react unless you can get to them in a media type of way. Like YouTube even. If you have an issue that customer support isn't really, you get like these bot responses, especially when you're not someone big enough to actually have your own, I guess, what are they called? Partner manager, I think, or partner associate. Something like that. When you become a partner, you end up getting an actual contact or a connection that you can talk to, and it's an actual human. But say if I had an issue right now, I'd have to go onto Twitter, my dead Twitter account that I'm still building up a following on, just like I'm trying to build up a following on both Twitch and YouTube. But I'm going to have to at them, at YouTube support, fix my shit, my asshole burns. And unless I get a bunch of likes and a bunch of retweets, they're not going to give a shit. I'm going to have a burning asshole for the rest of my life. So it's kind of a difficult thing because you do always need to kind of scream at them through media. If they can ignore you, they will. I think maybe it's a way to control how to like manage the workflow, just because, you know, if they answer everyone, they're not going to get to anyone. So they choose to ignore the people that don't get enough attention from others to bring it to their attention. It's a flawed system.
and went straight to the authorities instead of reporting it to Roblox first, could you technically be violating Roblox's terms of service?
I think some of these groups started off in a really good place, and they started off, really, and they still do really care about the community. The actions that they were taking were putting our community at greater risk, and were
The actions that they were taking by getting predators caught was putting the community at greater risk. That's teriology.
violations of our policy.
He says I'm putting the community at risk. Roblox even went as far to accuse me and my team of being similar to predators. Think about that. They're implying I am preying on predators. So to Matt Kaufman and David Bazzuki, I'm very sorry for preying on the predators of your platform and getting them arrested and put in handcuffs, because I didn't ever want to see kids go through what I went through.
These actors that were coming on the platform, they were reaching out to dozens and dozens of people, and the vast majority of those people were not responding to those engagements, and frankly, were harmed in that process.
I'm gonna show you this predator I caught. I sent a message in the chat, and I got this guy messaging me.
Yes, okay, how old are you? I asked him back how old he is, and he says he's older than 18. I tell him I'm years old. Do you mind me being younger? No, not really. If you can keep it a secret between us, though. And he does predator.
That's just so cringy.
He asks for my Snap or Discord, and the reason why he's asking for Snap is because the messages delete. I tell him Discord, and I get on Discord with him, and the messages begin right away.
Throughout that entire process, where did I harm anyone? Because the real harm was Roblox letting
because he didn't even try and get them off the platform, right? That was the predator approaching them, being like, do you have Snapchat or Discord? Because I know that the chat's logged on Roblox, and this is the easy way to do it. And everyone knows that because there's a giant predator community, and they probably all talk to each other and give themselves fucking ski pole rides.
On their platform for years. It only disappeared after Hindenburg, an investment research firm, went ahead and exposed Roblox for hosting this experience. And conveniently, it vanished the moment they showcased this predator catch. Notice as well how I wasn't the one to ask for Discord or Snapchat. The predator did. These were the sort of people interacting with our decoys, and so many people are becoming victimized from people exactly like this.
They were normalizing policy violations on the platform.
What Roblox's own algorithm recommends.
Something I am going to say right now, we're 14 minutes in, where the fuck is Chris Hansen, Schlep?
Inappropriate items to people. Roblox actively hosts not safe for work games for children. Roblox themselves in this interview doubled down on one of the most infamous instances of inappropriate behavior that they've allowed for nearly a decade, and they're really going at me for normalizing policy violations. Absolutely unbelievable.
And the other piece is, oftentimes the sort of evidence that was collected, the video evidence, was really difficult to verify, really difficult for us. And if law enforcement had to verify it, then they're talking about subpoenas. And so I think something that sometimes seems obvious to folks in the community really is just much more complicated on the back end.
I'm not sure how the evidence...
No one said it would be easy. What do you mean? No one said it would be easy, but just because it's hard, it doesn't mean that we should let it keep happening. What the fuck? What type of logic is that?
That I was sending you guys was hard to verify. I sent you guys screen recordings of us scrolling through the entire chat on mobile, and a lot of the stuff that happens is happening directly within Roblox. Like, for instance, when Roblox refused to ban this predator, we got arrested in Hawaii, and he was literally talking in-game about planning the meetup in real life on Roblox. With all that being said, I wanted to ask someone who's been working with law enforcement and has been doing predator catching since before I was even born. So I decided to take a seat with Chris Hansen to catch some answers.
He's here! My boy!
I'm Chris Hansen. I'm co-founder.
Oh God, what happened to you? I've not seen you in so long. Oh, you were young. You were young once.
And correspondent reporter for the True Blue streaming crew.
That's what all the predators are fucking saying. Oh, you were young once.
Crime Network. We do a lot of crime and investigative reporting. Our Takedown series, which exposes predators trying to exploit children online. And we also work on a number of documentaries, including this particular project, exposing the sort of thing that goes on Roblox.
I wanted to ask
You could tell Chris Hansen's old because he's not looking at the camera. He's looking right at Schlep. Like he's actually trying to have that human to human connection, but he doesn't realize for it to give off a human to human connection, you got to look at the lens. You can't look at I'm looking at myself now. Hey, how you doing? Yeah. Oh yeah. No, this is a very important topic to talk about. And now I'm looking at you guys. This is a very important topic to talk about. You can definitely tell the difference between eye contact, and I think that's funny because my parents do that too sometimes, like quite often.
Ask you about some of the comments that Roblox has specifically stated about like predator catching. One of the main complaints is pretending to be a child. I want to know your answer. It's kind of obvious, but the importance of using decoy accounts to just find different predators.
Well, we couldn't do it without using decoy accounts. In the very beginning, we had an online watchdog group, Prefer to Justice, do that work, and now, and for the last several years, it's been members of law enforcement who have opposed.
And I personally think that it's the best way to do it. I'm taking a stance on this because I am a big proponent of privacy. I think that you should be able to have your information private if you choose to do so, which is why the whole 18 plus verification bullshit from YouTube is very annoying. But I do think that that is the best method of doing it. You don't have legal hackers. You don't have people that can legally invade your privacy, right? So that's the only way that I could see these people getting outed. You need to catch them in the act, prove them guilty, because otherwise it's always innocent until proven guilty, right? Not guilty until proven innocent. This way they can be proven guilty. Otherwise they wouldn't be able to, and they just go back to doing what they do, which is heinous. Like, I don't understand how many times someone has to be dropped as a baby to think that that's the right path for you. They're like underage. Like, ugh.
Children online merely sitting in one of these areas, and they wait to be approached by somebody who is seeking to exploit children. And then the conversation takes place. It all happens according to the law, and then that gets turned over. Now, I understand that anytime somebody is not with law enforcement, it gives pause to a corporation. It's like, okay, here's this kid. We don't know whether he's following the rules properly. We don't know if he's running this by a lawyer. Maybe you could argue that they just don't want that sort of activity on their platform, but you think they'd be more worried about the activity that you're exposing.
That's what I've been trying to get at this whole time.
Let's worry about that, number one, and then you can have a conversation with young Schlep. I mean, if I were the CEO of Roblox, I would make you an ambassador for security. I would get out in front of this thing. And
That's a bit far. Not saying that Schlep hasn't done great, but I guess ambassador doesn't mean that he's given an actual position. Ambassador just means he's like a representative for the safety and stuff like that. So, an ambassador for sure. Yeah. For some reason, I thought that ambassador for a second there was like giving him like a level or two below CEO position. He needs to be put up at the chief health and safety position. I think that's a bit far at the end of the day. He is still a kid, but an ambassador for sure, someone who represents the safety of Roblox 100%, because that is what he is at this point. I think anybody who knows who Schlep is knows the cause that he is currently fighting for. And anybody who knows Roblox, just pay attention. Like, if you have kids, pay attention.
And do what would be a fantastic promotional move.
There's something to be said about the parents too.
Figured it out, given that these guys are in the high-tech world who invented this stuff in some ways. Why don't they get ahead of it and get a young guy on their team?
That's
what I'm doing with you, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
it's not that hard to figure out.
It's pretty cool that he is working with Chris Hansen, though. When I do say that there's a little bit to do with the parents as well, nowadays people just put their kids in front of screens and just kind of hope that things work out and let the screens teach them. That's why I kind of mean it's also up to the parents a little bit. They need to make sure that they're not on Roblox all the time, because Roblox isn't really something you should be playing 24/7 anyway, especially if you're a young kid.
I learned a long time ago that if you're not listening to the youngest guy or girl in the room, you're missing opportunity. You have to evolve, and you have to keep on top of this technology, and you have to bring new ideas into the room to do your job. My job is to expose bad people. You are helping.
I mean, the thing is, I've made it very, very clear to Roblox since the beginning. Give us a private line. We are open to communicate with you. We want to talk with you guys. We know a lot of these really bad actors, and the first official contact I had with them was the cease and desist letter.
It's horrible from a a public image standpoint, I mean, you're killing the messenger, right? It's not like you're out there tracking these guys down with, tasers and smoke guns. I mean, you're providing information to the platform to do something.
It's literally information
One of the
gathering.
major complaints that Roblox had about me was that I was actually going to law enforcement first before sending their report, just so that they would have a start to finish conversation of everything that took place. Did you guys ever reach out to social media sites before this sting goes down?
No, we always go to law enforcement. We work with law enforcement.
Why would you go to anyone but the police first?
To ensure a successful prosecution.
So he shows up without the police. You're just a vigilante. You're not doing it with law enforcement. He shows up with the police. How dare you not come to us first? What type of fucking logic is that?
That's why the prosecution rate in these states is, like 99.1%. It's law enforcement first, then they can deal with the corporation. The corporation should be more concerned about reporting what it finds to law enforcement to investigate.
I'm going to read to you a quote from Roblox's corporate blog describing our operations. Similar to actual predators, they often impersonate my actively approach users and then try to lead them onto different platforms to have really explicit conversations.
So what they tried to do here was make themselves seem less bad by essentially, I don't know if this would count as defamation because they didn't actually straight up say they're like predators, right? They kind of just said similar to actual predators, not the same, but similar, which is outrageous. I mean, if you want to break it down to the dumbest method, we're all like predators. We all text message each other. Well, what the fuck do you mean similar to actual predators? Like, there's no way that that is the outcome that you took from this situation.
We obviously do not talk to these predators. We don't impersonate real children. Our decoys are, adults.
Well, I think if they're mischaracterizing what you're doing, that's wrong. Based upon what you've said to me, you don't actively bait these guys in terms of making the first approach. You merely set up a profile as somebody who's underage, and you exist in that room until an adult approaches one of your decoys. Then if conversation takes place, they get exposed, and that information gets turned over to law enforcement. And in many cases, they do something, and then you report that both on your platform as a citizen journalist, a young guy working on these stories, and to Roblox to take action as a corporate citizen.
I thought it was kind of wild how they compared what we're doing to actual predators.
Well, if they're mischaracterizing what you're doing, yeah, that's horrible. This entire project is going to be healthy for
And that's the
Roblox,
thing.
and it's going to be
Roblox is such a big brand. It's such a big group of people. Imagine what can happen if Roblox goes out of their way and says something about someone that's not even defamatory, just even slightly pointing on the negative side. Something along the lines of even, I don't agree with what this guy says because he sucks and he's dumb. That would be defamatory, right? But if Roblox were to say that, they have such a big community behind them that could ruin someone. Whether it's a business, whether it's an actual brand, they had such a huge backing of people and brain dead idiots that would probably just charge behind them for a cause. You know what I mean? I feel like Roblox maybe needs to realize that there's a lot of eyes on this and shouldn't be calling people that are doing the opposite of what they're trying to essentially hide predators. It's not, no.
Especially good for users of Roblox because anything that creates awareness and a dialogue is important. And you need to tell parents that this stuff exists, that these dangers are out there, and that if your child, because anything that creates awareness and a dialogue is important. And you need to tell parents.
Awful. What the hell is that? Awful.
That this stuff exists, that these dangers are out there, and that if your child is approached by a predator, they need to come to the parents. I mean, that's the first line of defense. It's great what you're doing. It's great what I do. It's really great that law enforcement and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children does all this work every day across the country. It's great that Roblox has a department that takes a look at some of this stuff. What's not great is the lack of connection here that could make it even better and safer. Until that happens, we have to show parents what goes on here, and they have to have the discussion with kids and say, hey, be careful.
What made you interested into getting into Roblox?
I was personally getting communications on social media saying you need to look into this, you need to look into this, you need to look into this. And then
he's a pillar of
this,
this, right?
Down in Florida where a guy was arrested in Central Florida for and
Bro, what
actually
a
giving
face.
them Robux and having them exploit siblings and other. It made headlines down in Marion County, Florida, and so I started digging into it. We had good contacts with that sheriff's department there, and we actually, ironically, just did a predator sting, a takedown sting down there. So we started with an interview there, and it turns out that in the same jurisdiction, there was a 10-year-old girl who was exploited on Roblox by a man all the way over in England. And so we interviewed that victim's mother, and all of a sudden, all these cases started developing, including the lawsuit by the Attorney General in Louisiana.
It's interesting you mentioned Florida because we got an arrest there. We got it in Polk County, and it was a guy who possessed.
Polk County, as you know.
It's kind of crazy because this has been going on for so long, now it's so deeply ingrained that I don't think Roblox has too many options. I don't see how Roblox recovers from this. I think that they're either going to have to completely change so many rules, so many regulations, and completely buckle down with the moderation, or they're just gonna go under. I don't see how they've let this get so derailed. They've lost so much money already. I don't see how they come back from this, but they have a lot of money in their ass, so there's a chance that they could pull it out.
Is where Sheriff Grady Judd is, and they're very active in this space.
Oh, yeah.
We go to work with them as well. First of all, it breaks my heart, and I'm so sorry that you had to deal with this as a younger guy on this particular platform. The fact that you were bullied and preyed upon and advantage of, and that it went to the extent it did. It breaks my heart, and this is why we do these investigations. But to see you at your age turn it into a positive and do something about it, I think is incredible and admirable.
Thank you.
And it's disrespectful too, because if you guys don't know, Schlep was also a victim of being groomed and being approached by a predator on Roblox. He ended up obviously funneling that, and instead of just kind of bottling it up, he used it for a positive thing. And I think that that's very admirable. And then Roblox is trying to shut that down. Roblox doesn't know shit about what they're doing. And honestly, they need a lot more damage control that's less damaging to their brand.
Yeah, I appreciate
From a guy
it.
who's been kicking around doing this for 42 or 43 years now, it's really cool because when I started on television, I was your age. I was 22 years old. So when I see a young person do this kind of work, it's very impressive to me because I know what it takes.
Yeah, I mean it's very crazy when you start looking into this stuff. I mean it's a rabbit hole. It only gets more disturbing the more you see. And
well, and since we announced that we're doing this documentary and that you are collaborating, I am overwhelmed.
Oh yeah, I saw a tweet on Twitter. It got like 160,000 likes. That
look at him then, and look at him now. He's suffered. He's done a good thing taking out those predators, but seeing all that garbage has really torn him down a bit.
You're just even looking into the platform, because that's the thing. People have known about these issues.
I think it's just a bad angle. If you want me to be honest, bad angle, bad lighting.
To really look into it, and now it's starting to break into the world where everybody is starting to start to be aware.
Well, now you're seeing more mainstream, outlets cover it. And
yeah.
Look, we have the ability to infiltrate this world because we've been doing it for 21 years. First with To Catch a Predator, and for the last 2.5 years at True Blue, our streaming crime network, with Takedown. So we know how to do this and work with law enforcement. Now, a lot of people can go out and do this stuff independently, but here you are, a good example of somebody who has done the work and given it to law enforcement. And that's the key here, because if you expose these guys and, make fun of them and do a Borat kind of thing, like some other content creators, they often don't face the consequences. They don't have to register as a offender. They don't get prosecuted.
Yeah, and I think the thing is too, a lot of the reason why I have to make
that's the other side of things, right? So Vitaly has done similar, some people would like to say similar stings, but his thing is just humiliating and trashing on the person, and they never get arrested. They humiliate the person for clicks and views, and then afterwards they let him go. Nothing really comes of it, and even if they do try to get them arrested, they didn't work with police to facilitate this, and they essentially almost tortured a guy, which I understand he's a predator, but you can't do that. Like, would you rather him be tortured for 5 to 10 minutes or off the streets for longer than that? Much longer, keeping people safe. In a proper world, they'd be put away for years, but you know,
this content is because we reach out to Roblox, we give them the emails, we give them all the information. They don't respond until after we publish a video that gets millions of views on YouTube. You know, it makes me concerned because if we're getting that, what are real victims getting?
Look, I understand a little bit Roblox situation here. What they're trying to do is follow the protocol. When they see something, they're mandated to report that to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, which then refers it to law enforcement. And that's good, and they should be doing that. But why they wouldn't also take advantage of information given to them, wrapped with a bow around it, as you have done, it's stunning to me that they wouldn't see the opportunity here to be an ally of yours as opposed to
being
somebody,
blind
they're
to the
making
problem.
an example of and saying,
oh, for sure.
the rules, banning you. I don't understand that.
It's fucking moronic,
from a
honestly.
citizen aspect, it doesn't make sense. From a public relations standpoint, it doesn't make sense. And from a justice-seeking standpoint, it doesn't make sense. So I don't know, and I hope that
At least
during
one
the
of
course
those,
this,
at least one of those 3 people knew that we were seeing on screen because they took out $800,000 worth of stock before starting to go after Schlep. It's obvious.
that we'll get a chance, I'll get a chance to sit down with somebody at Roblox. And I have a feeling that's going to happen. But I'm going to be posing all of those questions when that interview takes place.
To young people who look up to you and see predators in online spaces, what is the single most important step that they can take to protect themselves?
I would be hesitant to tell people to conduct their own investigations, but I'm adamant that you got to report this stuff to your local law enforcement agency. You got to report it to the service provider. You got to report it to the platform. Hopefully, between those 3 things, you get some action. I think 15, 20 years ago, law enforcement would be a little overwhelmed by this and say, you know, if you're in a small town, you go to the police department, say this happened, they say, okay, well, you know, I'm not sure how to investigate it. Well, today, every department has the ability to investigate this stuff.
A cyber investigations unit
to take these cases up.
It's an absolute honor to have Chris Hansen featured on this channel.
I'm pretty sure that's going to be pretty much it for this. It's just an insane situation, and Roblox keeps doubling down. I'm not sure if there's been any updates since. Take a quick look. Oh. Let's see. 47 million players. One of the world shutting down. It doesn't seem that there's been any new breaking updates, honestly, ever since that video came out. But yeah, no, it's been a pretty insane situation. Roblox needs to really get their stupid stick out of their butts because it doesn't make any sense to me.